Chatisserie. Written by Likky Chan. Chapter 1.1. The cafe sat on a tree-lined street, its facade a muted pistachio green, while inside, soft yellow lights sparkled with the warmth of old diamonds. The building was 2 stories tall with a rooftop deck, where long green vines flowed down from the wraparound balconies. In a historical city full of brick-red townhouses and handsome brownstones, this cafe appeared like a jewelry box, fetching and unique, enticing and welcoming. What is this? Jane now stared at the building in disbelief. Above the awning, in bright crisp letters, was the name of the establishment. Chatisserie. This absurd name, how could it be on the storefront? In her heart, Jane felt free to ridicule it because she had been the one to come up with this lazy portmanteau, blending the Chinese word for tea, cha, with the French word patisserie. It was the fictitious name of the cafe in her unpublished novel. Yet, incomprehensibly, here it was. Without bothering to look both ways prior to crossing the street, Jane walked in a daze towards the cafe. Before she stepped foot inside, she could tell that it was a popular hangout. The double doors swung open often as young people came in and out, with many stopping to take selfies outside of the pretty exterior. Once she was inside, a wave of déjà vu hit her. The interior of the cafe was just as she had described in her manuscript. Light-colored woods accented with white and gray marble, warm glowy lighting, cute little tables with comfortable seating as mellow music played in the background. A delicious, sugary aroma filled the air from all the sweet treats and beverages that sat behind shiny glass displays, waiting to be served to its eager customers. This can't be real, Jane muttered to herself. She stood in shock, staring at the inside of the cafe until her eyes landed on a young woman who was next in line to order. The woman wore a light yellow sundress, her dark hair flowing down her back in a lush cascade. She looked just like... Jane's mouth parted in surprise. The woman ordered a drink, and as she spoke, Jane said at the same time under her breath, "Cold jasmine green tea with salted cheese mousse, half sugar, no ice." Jane felt a rush in her ears as her heart began to race. This was her favorite drink, so of course she wrote it for her female lead. But this woman, who happened to look just like her creation, also ordered in the exact same manner. Jane moved closer with as much subtlety as she could, to hear her give her name to the cashier for her drink order. "Eliza," the woman said. What could it be? Jane was flabbergasted. After Eliza received her drink, she left the cafe. Uninhibited, Jane began to follow her. It was after going down a few blocks before another revelation startled her. Was she no longer in Boston? The skyline seemed familiar and yet new to her eyes. With her peripheral vision still on the back of the Eliza doppelganger, Jane asked a pedestrian passing by what city they were in. She received a strange look before the stranger answered, "Carolina." "Sorry, did you just say Carolina? Impossible." Carolina was completely fictional. Jane had made it up. She even Googled it to make sure it wasn't a real city anywhere in the world. Take a look at the sign over there." The passerby pointed to a large blue oval sign that read, "Welcome to Carolina, Massachusetts," in white letters. Jane pressed her palm and fingertips against the painted surface, noting how solid it was. Now that she was paying closer attention, the word, Carolina, seemed to be sprinkled everywhere, from the local businesses on the street to the taxis driving on the road. The only explanation? This had to be some sort of elaborate simulation. Did someone slip a pair of VR headsets over her eyes? Jane touched her face with both hands, felt all over her head, even ruffled her hair, but there was nothing. The morning sun climbed higher and higher. She didn't know how long she stood there, but by this time, the woman named Eliza had long disappeared. Jane wanted to scream, "This is insane," but she held it in. Instead, she collapsed on the curb of the sidewalk, her breathing more labored with every passing second. She had only one thought. How in the world did I get here? End of chapter 1.1. To be continued.